Hi, I'm John Robert Sutton. I travel the globe searching for the finest ingredients and the hidden gems that have been overlooked by mass distribution. Food that is shared by generations of families, culture, and tradition. I will connect you to the stories behind well-sourced food and the people and places who make it happen. Welcome to Truth in Food, and it is so exciting to have Angelo Christou here, who started the Sunset Grill empire. Angelo, welcome.
Thank you, John. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So tell me how this all got started, please.
Well, it all got started a long time ago. I was originally born in Greece.
Wow.
In 1960, my dad immigrated. And,
what part of Greece?
Northern Greece, Greek Macedonian, a very poor area of
City?
Greece.
What city?
It's actually a village. Feta
Wow.
is the town.
Uh-huh.
Where we grew up on organic food.
Nice.
And each other. There was nothing else, no money, no jobs, no future. Mm-hmm. But we had our food, our farms, and each other. Mm-hmm. My dad immigrated, got a job washing dishes, learned to be a cook, ended up buying a restaurant with his two brothers a few years later. He had to wash dishes for 2 years to save the money to bring me, my brother, and my mom over.
Wow.
That's how poor we were.
Wow.
We slept in a one-room flat for 4 years. They saved their money, eventually bought their first restaurant. I read my dad's mail because he couldn't read or write. So I got started when I was about 8 years old in the restaurant business, reading his mail and guiding him through his operation.
Mm-hmm. You know, you're saying it with the smile on your face, growing up, you didn't think you were poor because you had everything, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I had lots of aunts and uncles. We all lived in the same house. Mm-hmm. We grew great food. We had all these farm animals around. So great place to grow up as a little kid.
Mm-hmm. And then tell me about the Sunset Grill.
The Sunset Grill began in 1985 after one of the worst recessions in memory, the late 70s and early 80s. So although we had a lot of family restaurants, nightclubs, banquet halls in the 70s, we decided to go shorter hours, specialize, and we came up with Sunset Grill, the first all-day breakfast restaurant in Canada. Once we opened our doors, people could get breakfast after 11. It was an open kitchen, so you could see me cooking.
Wow.
My mom was on the dishes, my dad was on the cash, and we had one waitress. So it was a 28-seat restaurant that we took over, put a kitchen hood in, put the menu in, and off we went. 2 weeks later, we had 100 people lined up around the corner.
Wow.
And it became a phenomenon in Toronto. And I often say to my friends, I don't need social media, I just need my lineup.
That's good. That's good.
That's how we started, and most of our restaurants get lined up. We're really good at what we do. People love the fact that we're a family operation. In the beginning, they saw my mom there, my dad. We were an immigrant family that was working hard and trying to make things go, and we had all our customers became ambassadors to our brand, and they would tell everybody. And to this day, all these years later, 35 years later, I meet people that are still pushing Sunset Grill that ate in my restaurants in the 80s.
Wow. So. Were some of your restaurants Greek restaurants or a fusion, a combination?
We did family restaurants. No, we didn't do Greek restaurants. And then we did, I had a nightclub when I was 22 years old. I got started early, so by the time I was 22, I was like wanting to open my own restaurant. My dad was my inspiration. He was a guy who had the heavy Greek accent, but always smiled, welcomed people, and thanked them on the way out. He learned how to cook. So he was my inspiration. I dropped out of college, and he helped me get into my first restaurant, which became a nightclub seafood steakhouse.
Wow.
2 floors. I had 25 employees at age 22. I worked day and night for 3 years and got my PhD in restaurants. After that, I went back for 5 years and worked in 5-star restaurants and hotels, and that's where I really learned how to cook.
Interesting.
And I went back, I got my real estate license, contractor's license, everything that I needed for franchising.
Interesting.
That was my dream, is to become a franchiser. I got the idea in the United States. I saw an all-day breakfast restaurant in Massachusetts. 1983 gave me the idea, and I brought the concept back in 85. And never looked back. Now everybody uses the term all-day breakfast. I actually started that term.
I was going to say McDonald's copied you.
Exactly, they did. I couldn't trademark all-day breakfast, but my trademark is famous all-day breakfast, and I've had that from the beginning. So I'd take credit for that term that everybody uses now.
You know, it's interesting because going to Canada, not having a Greek restaurant, probably because you couldn't really get the good Greek ingredients in Canada. You know, people struggle with that real oregano, the real feta, these things that they're now being all copied in the U.S. But do you find a huge difference in flavor?
You really have to search for the right feta. Even in the supermarkets, I often throw stuff away that just doesn't taste right.
Yes.
And if I eat in a Greek restaurant, I'll ask them if they use Greek feta just to keep them honest.
Yes.
A lot of them cheat. But if you're from Greece and you grew up on Greek feta, you know what Greek feta is about. And it's got to be imported. You can't reproduce it.
No way.
Here.
I totally agree.
Yeah, the Greeks have the feta like the Italians have the tomato. Best tomatoes in the world are grown in Italy. We have our feta, I guess, because of our climate and the goats and. But that's one thing. Greek feta you can't beat.
No, I agree. And I so many restaurateurs I know that are Greek are so successful for one simple principle: they bring the cash register in, and then they take it away at night. The whole thing, from all day working all hard and always keeping a watch on that register.
That's right. Well, we did it that way for a while. What happens is a lot of the guys burnt out. A lot of the Greek immigrants got into the restaurant business, like the Italians got into construction. And but unfortunately, they didn't have the education to take it to another level. That's where I kind of got the ball from my dad, and it took it to a whole new level, and now I have 85 stores.
Amazing.
I send my dad this big check every month. He hugs me and kisses me every time I see him.
Wow.
Because at one point we were struggling. They had $50,000 on our first Sunset Grill, cash to renovate the store, and we had to mortgage their house to buy the property. So we were all in that first store. And we know what it's like to struggle and work hard and long hours and try and get ahead. Oftentimes these Greek guys signed bad leases. Or their lease ran out, they burnt out.
It's a real estate play in some cases.
A lot of the guys that made money owned the property. Even though they were there 20 years and they had to close the restaurant, the property value might have tripled or quadrupled. So I did start with my first Sunset, and we bought the property. And it was because of all this research. I used to ask my dad, well, what happened to that guy? Why was he successful?
Interesting.
And why did he miss? Oh, this guy owned the property.
So your dad's still giving you advice,
He's on the payroll, and he's Mr. Sunset. He actually has license plates that say Mr. Sunset.
Really?
I got for him.
And he's driving, and is he helping in the kitchen once in a while?
No, he likes his Florida. He's 86, so he's a snowbird. He goes to Florida in the winter and in Toronto in the summer.
Now, what about Greece? Do you ever go back to Greece?
Unfortunately, there's not much left there.
Interesting.
Everybody left my village, and that surrounding northern Greece area. It's all Macedonian. There was a lot of wars right up until 1955, 10 years after World War II. The communists were still trying to liberate us. So we got caught in the middle of a whole bunch of...
On the Bulgarian, Macedonian,
the country
northern...
got divided, and then there was the communists were trying to liberate us. I could throw a rock over the border where I'm from.
Oh, wow. Okay,
so there was communism,
exactly
and then we were part of the free world in Greece. So we all basically left. There was no money, no future, 100% unemployment. And you didn't see money. You didn't see currency unless you went to the store and looked in their cash register. And you could barter. You could bring your eggs in. So I used to steal eggs from the chicken coop the only way I could ever get candy. And I'd always get caught because my grandfather knew his eggs. I don't know how to this day. There must be some sort of blueprint on them.
Interesting.
You know, or fingerprint. And he went to the store and he says, "These are my eggs. Who brought these here?" Oh, it was, Angelo. He was in. He got a chocolate bar. But,
good for you.
That was the only money I ever got. And I got my first pair of shoes when I was 5. Real pair.
Amazing.
We had like homemade shoes before that, and I had to share them with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So, although, I had a great childhood, I didn't want to come to Canada. If you see my passport picture, you see an angry kid.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I grew up on organic food. We made all our cheeses, everything. The only thing we
Olive
bought maybe
oil.
was sugar. It's probably one of the only things that we bought.
How was the honey in your village, in your area?
I don't really remember honey, but we had 25 acres and they were all spread out. So we had our vineyards,
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
and then we have our grazing. Like, used to have to take the cows out. Me and my brother would alternate. So I'd have to take the cows for about a half-hour walk and then go to our pasture and let them graze there for a couple hours, bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
But we made everything from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
There was no preservatives. There was no, any type of fertilizers that we used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this whole term of organic is kind of a new term because so much here in California has been polluted with fertilizer and everything else, so they have to come up with a term. But in your village, there was no fertilizer or anything, so everything didn't have to be organic. It was already there.
That's
naturally.
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's true organic.
And how do you find sourcing ingredients? That's a big challenge. And in your franchise model, do the franchisees source individually, or how does that work?
I have to approve all the product and the source.
Mm-hmm.
We try to do deals on organic product whenever we can, but price is definitely a factor.
Your business, yes.
We need to stay alive and pay the rent, and if we raise prices too much, then we might not be able to sell or appeal to a certain demographic. So it's a balancing act. We'd love to go completely organic, but that wouldn't work at this point. For instance, yogurt, we can get organic yogurt, and the price is only 25% more than your regular yogurt. But when you go to other products, prices can double when you go to organic, and it just doesn't make sense. For instance, eggs. We still do not serve organic eggs in Canada. What I might do is add them on as a choice. So if you want organic, this is the price, and if you want regular eggs, it's a cheaper
I've
price.
seen that.
So
But still.
that's coming, but I'd be resisted because there hasn't been enough demand for organic eggs.
Yeah.
So we kind of listen to our customers, see what they want, and we have to make sales. We have to pay the rent and pay our bills.
And, the breakfast space is very competitive. Tell me about your success. What is the differentiator? What is this excitement about the Sunset Grill I hear all over? Why are people in droves going to your place for breakfast?
Well, I have a 5-star cooking background. So I've applied 5-star cooking to breakfast. We do not pre-cook. We cook to order. You order, it goes on the grill. We don't use frozen products.
That's a big deal.
And that's the difference. We don't do all organic, but we do fresh cooking. And we do not pre-cook. You order bacon and eggs, the bacon goes on the grill.
Oh, wow.
And we have a system in the kitchen that I've developed from the beginning. There's no talking to my cooks. We communicate through iPods now. Each cook has a column. So my cooks don't think either. They just cook great food. Because they look in their column, we have an egg guy that does just eggs, one guy does just meat, and they're all happy doing their job. They stay forever. We don't have a turnover. That's key to the kitchen.
And this was your idea. So the communication verbally you saw as being a little bit of a problem.
Once you start talking to the cook, he loses his concentration.
Interesting.
He's cooking somebody else's food. Now you're trying to explain to him what you want. We eliminated that. So we have a upon request list. So if you're a customer that asks for something that's not on the menu, it has to be on the upon request list or you're not getting it. because we're about pleasing most of the people. Unfortunately, we're not like a dinner place where you can custom order your steak and everything else. We have attitude and we have rules, and we line up and we teach people how to order. It's kind of like the soup Nazi.
Yes.
It's like, these are, like, we're nice about it, but it's like, behave yourself and order off the menu and within our rules, or go down the street to another place that has dirty washrooms, that has a closed kitchen, and you're going to get pre-cooked food. So if you come in and you behave and order off our menu, you're going to get this fantastic food. You're going to be in this hustling, bustling place that you're going to love, because people love to be with other people. And we have a happy energy and atmosphere, because we treat everybody like family, but I set a standard. I set my standard, and then I treat people like family, and I do that with my franchise system.
Wow.
So we're all relaxed, we're happy, we want to have fun at work. We're there to make money, but we want to have fun. It's our second family and home, and our customers are part of that too. And that creates an amazing energy you feel as soon as you walk in the door.
Yes.
So if you came in one of my restaurants and I was operating, I got you for life.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere else.
That's good.
And that's the way I ran my restaurants.
You know, I'll tell you, hospitality has been lost in so many of these operations. Just that contact and the old school way of a simple hello.
That's right.
And even the first point of contact is so important, and people have lost that today.
Yes. You can get away with it in quick service, which you see a lot of now. But with table service, people expect to be greeted. They expect a certain type of hospitality. So it's an expectation. If you go to quick service, you don't even expect a hello. But if you go into a restaurant where you're going to sit down and be served, there's an expectation to be greeted and to be served properly, promptly, and great food. It's the food that brings everyone back. It's that cook-to-order freshness.
Do you have an item that people love? Like, do you have what are some of the items that people really like to order?
We have our own version of Eggs Benedict. It's called Egg Sunset.
Okay, what's this? That's Eggs Benedict's my favorite.
Oh, well, we start with the English muffin. We have our Canadian pea-meal bacon, which is back bacon. And by the way, that started in Ontario. That's kind of a homegrown type of thing. I don't know if you guys have it here, but we're planning to import it. It's like that piece of the pork chop on the pork.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's cured with cornmeal. And then sliced and then cooked on the flat top grill.
That sounds good. Yeah. I mean, I can't stand Canadian bacon, so this sounds like a great alternative. I'll just order crispy bacon. I'll always substitute with like crispy bacon.
We do that, and that's one of the things on our list. If you want really crispy, we can do that. We normally cook our bacon well done. We put it on a flat top grill and put weights on it so it's completely flat. We cook it very, very well done, but we then put it in an apron that softens it. Even though it's well done, it softens it.
Wow, I get it.
And we pat all the grease off it. So when you get our bacon, you get 5 pieces of bacon on our bacon and eggs. And you'll be grabbing it with your fingers, eating it. And it's so delicious because it's well done and it's not that brittly where it's all falling apart.
So this is the story of getting bacon and eggs and a side order of bacon.
It's 5-star bacon and eggs. That's what it is. And you're not going to get it in the 5-star restaurant. Man. You're going to get it at my place. And you're going to pay $10. And you're going to pay $25 for the same thing somewhere else, and you're going to get pre-cooked bacon.
And it's going to be microwaved.
Yeah. We use clarified butter to cook our eggs. We do it in a pan. We use small eggs. There's all these little things that make it all happen. And it's the little things that count in the food business.
Totally. And you know what? It's hard work. It's so easy to be lazy and get that cheap, bad ingredient that a big company's going to come and deliver, and you charge a bunch of money for it. But customers now are smart. They can see right through some of this stuff.
They do. And it's good you mentioned that because I still use small suppliers. I like owner-operators.
Yeah.
And what I do have my large supplier. It's $1 billion company, but they can't. We have an orange juice guy that I've used for 30 years. He's an owner-operator. He flies our orange juice in from Florida. It gets squeezed, it goes on a plane and comes to our store. No preservatives. You've never had orange juice like this. You can't squeeze orange juice in Canada because the oranges come in green.
Yeah.
They don't have that juice.
They don't have.
I have a female bacon, like back bacon guy. These guys, their grandfather was doing this business. They have that recipe. I've tried other back bacon, but they have the recipe. So I order only back bacon from them. I only order sausage from another company. I only, like, there's certain, I will look for the best possible product I can buy.
And unique.
And then I tell my main supplier that these smaller guys, they're going to deliver to your store. You're going to put it all on your truck, and you're going to bring it to my store. But if you want my business, you have to cater to these other smaller guys.
Good for you.
Yeah.
This is great news. I'm very
so
good
that's
to
what
hear
makes
this.
us who we are. It's the little things. I don't have to do that. I can buy everything off my main supplier, but I don't like he does not hands-on with the orange juice. You got to be hands-on. It's a fresh product. So plus I also have an inventory control system. So Monday morning, our fridges are empty because we had the busy weekend.
Yeah.
And if they're not empty with products,
Somebody messed up.
you're using that product the following weekend. So I want my fridges empty, and I want fresh product coming in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is what we do. Our business is very steady all week. It's not like we're in a tourist area where things go up and down. So we know how much product to order. We order what we used the week before plus 10%. So by Sunday afternoon, we might run out of some stuff. So you come in my restaurant Sunday afternoon, I'm sorry, we ran out of orange juice. We're getting a fresh shipment tomorrow. This is what customers want to hear. They don't want you freezing stuff just so that you can satisfy the fact that they want a product. I got away from that. That's old school.
Yeah.
So it's all about ordering fresh, even our burgers. We make so many fresh burgers in the morning, and we might run out of burger on a Tuesday.
Wow.
You come in at 3 o'clock and we might say, sorry, have chicken. We made so many, we make it fresh. But this is what people want to hear.
They do. And
That's what I want to hear. I don't want some frozen burger.
no way.
If you don't have it fresh, I'll order something else.
I'll tell you, I have been so disappointed in this hamburger avalanche that's occurring all over the world that I've stayed away from them. I've just been so let down. So it's good to hear. I can't wait to sink my teeth into that hamburger at your place. But I want to hear about your hollandaise sauce over those eggs Benedict. Is there a secret there?
The only secret is that it's a fresh product. That's the secret. Start with an English muffin. We cook our female back bacon. It goes on the English muffin. Now we cheat a little bit. We don't poach the eggs. We do them over easy on a light burner, and then we separate the eggs, and then we place them on top of the female, and then we put our hollandaise sauce on top.
Interesting.
Why do we cheat? Because we serve 3 eggs. Imagine having 10 orders of egg sunset. Now you have 30 small eggs that you have to poach.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to
It is
deliver.
to get it right.
The yolk breaks. You got to start
ruins
over.
it all.
Again, it's like not talking to the cooks. We eliminate stuff that's really labor intensive, that's going to affect what they're cooking for someone else. He's trying to make poached eggs for everybody, but he's burning your over easy because he's frustrated. So all this stuff, I spent 8 months in the kitchen without a day off when I first opened Sunset.
I was it was interesting because I respect cooks like that so much. These people learning. Just recently, I was in Germany at a nice hotel in Heidelberg, and I wanted a poached egg, and this young chef was perfectly dressed with the hat and everything, and his technique, spinning the water and putting the poached egg in there. And I appreciate that so much. It's an artist. Everything they're making is like a piece of art that disappears, and they have to make it again.
Yeah. Well, what we do is we'll make you poached eggs if you arrive before 11 a.m. But after that, we put the water give it to the dishwasher to clean the pot. Only because when lunchtime comes, this is why they used to cut breakfast off at 11. When lunch crowd comes, then all hell breaks loose, and you lose your cooks because They can make $20 an hour anywhere.
Interesting.
So I keep my cooks. The very first franchise that I opened, I worked 3 months with the cooks. As my cousin bought my first franchise. It was my 6th Sunset Grill.
Wow.
And
where was this
I worked
located?
the eggs. This was on the outskirts of Toronto, and it was our first power center location, which ended up becoming our vehicle to our growth. You know, the power centers where you have the Costco and Walmart in behind, you have their Starbucks and Sunset Grill. We're in all those big centers.
In those big malls.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your franchise. You know, you want to get to 2,000 stores, okay? Talk about a successful franchise model. How could somebody that wants to open a Sunset Grill, take us through that process?
Okay, what we do is we sell franchises. If you were interested, we would want 2 pages of information from you, and then we would give you a 1-hour interview. The 2 pages of information is first a questionnaire, and the second one is financial statement. We don't want to waste your time, and we don't want to waste our time. So we'll tell you if you have enough money or if you fit the criteria. If you do, we bring you in. If not, if you're short money, say, find a partner, and then come in and see us. So we do that first. We qualify people. We give them a 1-hour interview, answer all their questions. We direct them to our website that has our franchise package and a lot of the build-out costs and a lot of information there. We encourage them to read that. They come in, we disclose them. We give them about a 100-page disclosure document, which is required by law in Canada. I'm sure you have the same thing here in California. And after that, we tell them to go talk to their lawyer. We have a 14-day grace period in Canada. We can't sign them up right away. We have to give them 2 weeks to go think about it, talk to their family. And we encourage that. We follow the rules as far as that goes. Then they come back and they give us $55,000 check, and they sign an agreement with us, and they get in the queue. So first one in the queue gets first choice of any real estate that I negotiate.
What makes a good location? What's the successful places?
Okay. Number one, if I don't get everything, I don't do it. It's a restaurant business, very high failure rate. Even if you have a top brand, you still need the corner, you need parking. If you don't have density, like downtown, you need parking.
Got it.
One or the other, forget about anything else. We need a long lease. I'm negotiating a 30-year lease right now in downtown LA with no demo clause. So I secure the location for a long period of time. Why? I protect the goodwill of the restaurant. Without a lease, the restaurant's tables and chairs.
Yeah.
So my guys get a chance to pay off their business and sell it for $1 million and become millionaires. This is why.
So you're making millionaires.
Yeah, I'm making millionaires. I became a
millionaires.
millionaire with the first 5 that I opened and sold, and then I'm selling what I did to franchisees, and that's what they're buying into. We have 85 stores open. We're opening probably 8 stores before the end of the year.
Congratulations.
We do about 10, 15 stores a year in Canada. We don't have enough real estate, or we'd be doing more. And
you're looking in LA. You're looking here.
We have a place in downtown LA, corner location that looks great. We're actually in the letter of intent process, and hopefully we'll secure that location under a 30-year lease. We're going to open it up. I'm going to open the store unless I get the right franchisee. It's my first one here. It's my baby.
Great.
I don't want to hand it over. I'm going to be hands-on. And if the numbers are there, we sell franchises, and we start a queue here. So first one that pays me $55,000 gets first in the queue. I negotiate new real estate. They can say yes or no. So I match up the real estate with people that have already paid me. And if they say yes, we go to a lease. The store gets built out. My staff goes in place. We press. I approve the location, and I do the drawing. Those 2 things I don't hand over. I do all the marketing, all the menus, all the food. I pre-approve. I template everything, so I don't have to revisit anything that's templated. But location and lease and
Well,
that thing I won't hand over, and the drawing of the restaurant. There isn't an engineer. There's no one at my office that can do a drawing like I can.
Well, Angelo, that's why you're a success, and we can't wait for thousands of Sunset Grills to be all over the world. And thank you for joining me today on Truth in Food.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, this is great. I'm John Robert Sutton. For those that want more information about the program, please visit my website at suttonselects.com or follow me on social media at Sutton Selects. Have a great day.